Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've been super busy, but today I'm going to talk to you about a lot of random fragrances. I was thinking about doing a fall fragrances video, and then I was thinking about doing like fragrances I've bought since the last time I saw you video, and this is going to be like both of those smushed together. It's hard to do a fall fragrances video where I live because I live in a climate, I live in Southern California, and the climate here is kind of like relentlessly sunny. And we don't have four seasons here. We kind of just have spring and summer. And spring is like November through June, and summer is July through October. Um, so we haven't really had a change of seasons here yet. But I have been wearing different things. It's not like as warm as it has been, so there's some change there. And then I've gotten a lot of stuff over the time since my last substantive video. So if you're interested to hear about a lot of random fragrances today, stick with me. Okay, so first up, we're going to start with this discovery set that I got from Atelier Materi. I got this, I went to Paris this summer, and there's a store there called Dover Street Market Parfums, which is like a perfume standalone store of this, I don't know, kind of high-end avant-garde department store called Dover Street Market. I think it's somehow associated with Comme des Garçons. But anyway, I'd heard, I think, Sebastian talk about this brand, and I was curious to try it. This was a really good price. It was like 30 euros, and you get 6 samples, and you get to pick them. So the ones that I picked were Bois de Ambret, Iris Ebene. I got two of Bois de Ambret. Narcisse Tagy, Rose Ardoise, and Cacao Porcelana. I'm wearing tonight the Bois de Ambret, which is far and away the best from this set. It's a really beautiful Ambret Angelica Amorous, I think. And all of it is on top of this very dense, silky, dark, like Isoe Super Ambroxan base. Moral of the story is all of these are kind of that, like a very pretty, well done designer fragrance with a different note at the top. So the Bois de Ambret is the best one by far, and it's kind of, they all kind of smell the same, but just, I don't know, look, something, the star note gets changed. I will say that the Iris Ebene is kind of like a Dior Homme Intense inspired take on the DNA, and the Rose Ardoise is the Labo Rose 31 take on the DNA. So they're not very original. I really do like, though, the Bois de Ambret, but I would never buy a bottle because they're very expensive. They're like 230 euros per bottle, and two, the bottle is hideous. Like, I couldn't believe when I saw the bottles in store. They're like very big, super heavy, like a paperweight, and they have a concrete top. They're hideous. I would never buy it. But that's the discovery set from Atelier Materi. Also, while I was in Paris, I picked up a new discovery set from Heeley. They have a standalone store, which is like basically just like a very small stall at the Palais Royal down by the Louvre. And this is one of my favorite houses ever. They can really do no wrong in my eyes, which is why I wanted to talk about this one. This is their newest release. It's Cologne Officinale. And I want to talk about it because I don't like it. And I think the notes, it's supposed to be like a barbershop-y inspired thing. So like a fougere barbershop inspired by Marseille and the south of France. And so there's lots of green notes. There's galbanum and basil and thyme and rosemary. And when I smell it, I think it's just too like savory. It almost smells like cooking, like a curry to me. Which is weird because I love Heeley, and this fragrance in particular online has gotten a lot of praise. But I just don't like it, and I feel bad about that, but I don't. So That's Cologne Officinale by Heeley. Next up is one that I got probably in like August or September. It's Bay Rum by Olympic Orchids. And I got the discovery set for Olympic Orchids back in May or April, and none of them really blew my mind, but this was my favorite. And I really like the story of the brand, and I knew I wanted to buy something from them aside from the discovery set. It's funny how my mind works that way. But I do like this fragrance. The weird thing is, ever since I've got it, I haven't worn it. Like, I pick up the bottle and sniff it, and I'm like, not today. But smelling it again here, it's really, really pretty. It's a bay rum fragrance, which is, I guess it used to be its own genre of like mostly aftershaves and stuff based on the Jamaican bay laurel, which is, I don't know, different than the bay that we used to cook with. But this is just like an explosion of spices, cinnamon and clove and allspice, and that, like, I guess it must be the Jamaican bay. That's like green and a little bit leathery and herbal and astringent, and then like loads of booziness. Yeah, it's really, really, really pretty. It's tropical and it has like vacation vibes almost, but it's also very masculine. I like it. Maybe I will wear it to work this week. Um, I like it a lot. It's Bay Rum from Olympic Orchids. Okay, so another one that I got in the August September timeframe is Dune pour Homme by Christian Dior. This is a vintage bottle. I think it's probably like, I think this fragrance was 1996, and this is probably close to that time. I blind bought it. If you follow my channel, you'll know that Dune, the original for women, is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. Um, and I don't know why I'd waited so long to try Dune pour Homme. I think mentally I had an aversion to fig fragrances, and that's what this is. This is fig with a lot of like unspecified green touches. Um, it's lightly aquatic, and in the base, it's like it's basically a tobacco. There's lots of tonka, some sandalwood, um, but it's lovely. I mean, this is surprisingly way less woody than Dune Parfum. This is more of like a green fragrance with a tobacco base, but it's also very fruity and very floral. So it's very complex. It's very like soft and watercolor and romantic, um, and it's super 90s. Like, it almost gives me Dawson's Creek vibes, but it doesn't smell dated. I wore this a lot when I first got it. I haven't worn it recently, but smelling it again, I'm like, oh gosh, this is incredible. It's good. It's really good. It's Dune pour Homme by Christian Dior. Okay, the next one is very similar for a lot of reasons. This is Jasmin des Anges by Christian Dior from the Privé line. This is a little 7.5 mil mini, and I've used it all up probably since, I don't know, August, September. And this is, I think, my second mini that I've gone through of this. I love it. I'm gonna have to buy a bottle soon because I ran through this. It's really beautiful. It's a jasmine fragrance, obviously, as it's in the name, but there's also osmanthus, and they list an apricot note, but I'm guessing osmanthus apricot's the same note. This though also has, I think it's the osmanthus that's doing this, but in the top it has this really, really stunningly beautiful like candied bergamot opening. I say candied, but it's not at all like little girl smelling. And then immediately you're hit with a big jasmine, and it's like super clean, and it's a little bit shampooy, but it's also, the primary thing I get is like marshmallowy jasmine. Like, it's super sweet and refreshing, and it has this dry down, which you get the osmanthus fruitiness at first. So you get like marshmallowy jasmine, and then peachy apricot-y floralness. But as it dries down, I think the osmanthus takes it to this place where it becomes lightly tobacco-y. And so in the base, it's like a fruity tobacco musk. It's so good. I have to buy a bottle very soon. It's Jasmin des Anges by Christian Dior. All right, another one that I was wearing a lot at the end of summer was this one. It's Belle de Jour by Christian Dior from the Privé line. And it's not like quite discontinued yet, but you can only buy it in the mega huge bottles. I wish it came in a smaller bottle because I loved this. This was it's a Francois Demachy release, and it's the notes are like peach ice cream, rose, and musk, I think. And it's all of those things. It's like super fruity at the top, super fruity and feminine, and kind of girly actually, like young person. But then it quickly moves into a direction where it has that peach sweetness and fruitiness along with a rose, like a red rose, which is pretty interesting. And then also very quickly it becomes super, super, super musky, and kind of like dirty musky. Not kind of. It's a very, very dirty, musky, fruity rose perfume. And it's very creative. It's very unique. Um, I just don't smell very much like this. I don't know why it's discontinued. I want it. It's Belle de Jour by Dior. Okay, also in September, I went to New York City for a trip to visit some friends. And while I was there, I went to, they have like a perfume discounter warehouse district in Manhattan. And like, it's near like the Macy's on 34th Street. But they have all these like little independent stores that sell, I don't know, like discount perfumes. And I went and got two that I was not really intending to buy for myself, but to resell, but I ended up keeping them. And the first is Narciso Rodriguez for him. And this bottle is kind of hard to film. It's also a fingerprint magnet, but it's really like a stunning bottle. It's very super heavy and like dense, and it's painted on the inside, so you can't see the juice level or anything, and you can't really even like feel the movement inside. But I'd actually owned this before and gave it away because I wasn't all that interested in it. But since I've bought it again, I'm like obsessed with it. And I don't even know really fully the notes. I know there's like patchouli and musks are probably the two biggest notes that are listed. But this is so incredibly interesting and satisfying. To me, it smells of, I think famously it's supposed to smell of wet cement, and it kind of does smell like that, but it also smells of like paint drying and like Play-Doh and like printer ink. But as it dries down, it has a really beautiful muskiness, and a really sweet. The more I wear it, the more I perceive it as being like a very sweet patchouli. Even though when you first spray it on, you're like, wow, this is bracingly dry. The other thing about it is that it's kind of harshly synthetic, but as it wears, you understand that it actually has very high quality ingredients and like a lot of naturals. It's so intriguing. I can't believe that it was released as a mainstream designer men's release. If you can get your nose on it, you absolutely should. The next one that I bought while I was in New York is more of the same, actually. It's Narciso Rodriguez for him, the Eau de Parfum. And this is super closely related to that one, but when I first smelled this one, I had a visceral reaction to it where I just like hated it. I first smelled it, actually owned this one too a year ago and gave it away for different reasons. But the first time I smelled it, I literally felt as though I was like being suffocated by it. I thought it was so cloying and like synthetic and harsh and weird. And this time when I bought it, the first time I sprayed it, that's how I felt too. But then I kept coming back to it, like there's something interesting underneath. Um, and now I'm obsessed with this. It is a super floral take on the original for her. Um, this is squarely in the middle unisex. In fact, I think this would appeal more to women than to men. It still has that same like musk patchouli base, but on top of it is like a mega dose of pink pepper, which is like being maced. That's what I get. Like it's like being maced by pink pepper, and there's a big iris note. Um, it gives me that same like abstract chemical feeling, and this time it's like dry cleaning chemicals. And I think the first time I smelled it, it I could viscerally feel myself like being suffocated by one of those like plastic bags they put over your shirts at the dry cleaners. Like that's how it felt. And then it's weird even now when I smell it from the nozzle, the like very intense pink pepper floral overdose. It gives me the sense of like it stuffs my head up, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm drowning. I don't know. It's a very weird emotional response, but in a strange way, as it wears, it is also, in comparison to the original for her, which is very earthy and wet, this is very ethereal and airy, and confounding. I'm in love with this perfume. Narciso Rodriguez for him, Eau de Parfum. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is this one that arrived at my house relatively recently. It's Vetiver Veritas by Heeley. Um, I had 15 ml of this, which I immediately loved, and I ended up gifting that to a friend who also really liked it. And then I ordered the full bottle. But this is pretty much a straight vetiver. It's a 100% natural perfume, and I believe 90% of the formula is vetiver. Um, and I think that also there's like the alcohol that's used to make it is from natural sources. Like I want to say it's from rye or something, but it smells incredibly natural. It's very raw in feeling. Um, it gives me the feeling, it doesn't smell aquatic, but it gives me the feeling of like an ancient, slow moving, muddy river. Like clay and roots and like reeds, but it's also super elegant, like powdery, um, and kind of abstract. Like if you didn't know what vetiver smelled like and you smelled this, you wouldn't be able to place kind of like what it was. It's got some other tiny things happening in there. There's like mint and maybe some lavender, but I just love it. It's really like one of the only fragrances in my collection that I could see being like a one and done, like a one bottle collection, a signature scent, because it's really, it could be worn any season, any occasion. I feel really comfortable wearing this at home, and I also feel 100% comfortable wearing it to the office. It's just beautiful. I really love it, and not just because it's the newest thing in my collection. It's Vetiver Veritas by Heeley. Okay, coming towards the end. This is another thing I picked up while I was in New York. Well, I didn't pick it up. It was given to me at Nordstrom. It's Cedrus by Chloé. This is from the Atelier des Fleurs collection. This is the most popular one from that collection, or so the sales associate told me. It's a Quentin Biche, and I'm not really impressed with his work. I find it to be overly synthetic and loud and flashy. But this was really nice. So the Atelier des Fleurs collection from Chloe is supposed to be kind of like Soliflore perfumes. They have like a ylang and a hibiscus and cedrus. Um, this is really, really pretty. It's like a slightly more feminine than normal cedar, and cedar's a note I really like. It's also got cardamom. It's just like really airy, soapy. Oh, and in the dry down, I'm remembering oak moss is a note, and it has a nice green, astringent, Kind of unexpected softness, unexpected for Quentin Biche. Um, anyway, I really liked this one. I was happy that I got actually 2 free samples of this. They were like throwing away this Chloe Liz Flores thing. She said it was not selling at all. Um, I love a candid sales associate. Cedrus by Chloe. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is not a perfume at all, but a bath product. This is the shower gel by Labo, the Hinoki scent. And I got this on eBay. I actually got like a pack of 3 of them. So this one I haven't used yet. It's really, really got a nice texture. It's like super thick. Like it looks and feels like honey when you squeeze it out of the bottle. You only need like a little tiny dab of it, and it lathers ridiculously. And it has the most overwhelming smell. I mean, it smells, I guess, faintly like, I don't know. I don't know what Hinoki smells like. I guess it's a cypress tree in Japan that they use in saunas. But what it smells like is Isoi Super. It smells like an Isoi Super bomb. Just like it fills the bathroom with smell, but beyond that, it perfumes you as a person with Isoi Super. It like imbues your skin with Isoi Super. And the 2 stories I'll tell about it are like I use this now in the shower, and I go to the gym very early at like 7 a.m. And I've gotten like compliments from other people where they're like, "Oh, you smell so good. Like, what are you wearing?" And I don't wear perfume to the gym, but the shower gel is actually projecting, which is just nuts. And then I actually gave, because I got 3 bottles of it, I gave a bottle to my boss, and she loves Hinoki scents, I think. And she took it home with her, and she tried it, and she brought it back the next day, and she was like, I can't. It's so strong. But I love it. So anyway, that was a super long rambling video, but I'm happy you guys stuck with me. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.